have you learned so far, Evan, in these episodes?
I've learned that I have a pretty calming voice. I never really listened to myself talk before I started listening back to these podcasts.
I've learned that I say awesome way too much.
You do, but it's awesome.
It's excellent. I was going through the thesaurus. But today's most excellent guest, Charlie Wilson.
Hey.
Hello, Charlie Wilson, also known as Uncle Gnarly.
That's me.
We love him. Cleveland staple. Works the Beachland, making that tavern sound great.
And came in on super short notice today.
Yeah, no, it works out perfect because I didn't know when I'd be able to come in.
Yeah, I'm glad we got you in. Mm-hmm.
Got me on a random day off. It's great.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we had a guy that was coming in. I won't say who, but he said, in all honesty, I just got to cancel. I don't have anything good to say about music right now. I'm in a real weird place in my life.
Hey,
okay.
Honesty's the best thing.
That's
I
what
love
said.
it.
I said thanks for the honesty. No harm done. We got people that want to be on here, so
works.
Slipped you right in.
It could have been fun though. We could have made like a different type of segment where our typical podcast is on Monday, but we could have like fuck off Friday, where we just vent.
Yeah, hey, you could have brought him in with me. I got plenty of shit to talk. Don't worry. I get it.
Cool, man.
But I'm not. I'm in a great place with music, man. I'm excited. If we're talking all about music, man, I'm super excited about music. Just general Cleveland area, national level, international level. I think it's the best time to be a music fan. It's almost the best time to be a musician. We're getting there. We're still a little. Everything's skeptical with pandemic and all that stuff, but we're almost there. So
we're catching up.
Yeah, but I think to be someone who just listens to music and consumes music and art, it's such a good time right now. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's very easy to get a hold of stuff like doing this podcast because you were a last minute thing. Like if we weren't in this age, like Evan was able to be like, we got Charlie coming in. Here's his music. Start listening.
Yeah.
So that was the second half of my day at work was earbuds in, while I'm working, doing my research for the show today.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So introduce yourself and tell everybody what acts you're associated with or the music you're making.
All right. I'm Charlie Wilson, not the R&B singer, not the senator played by Tom Hanks, but the one from Cleveland, a.k.a. Uncle Gnarly.
A.k.a. Charlie Locks and Cream Cheese Bagel.
A.k.a. Locks and Cream Cheese Bagelman. The first band I ever played was a band called Johnny Republic. That was a ska band. In the more recent times, I'm part of Wanyama, the offset improv group Cats Meow. Uncle Gnarly is the solo thing that I do. That's mostly electronic. I play with Apostle Jones as a sax player. And, people can find me throughout the city doing random improv jam nights and playing sax with various other groups. I work at Beachland Ballroom and Tavern doing sound. And I just started a job doing recording at Signal Flow Studios as an engineer. So I am in the music scene in Cleveland in every which way possible.
Great. I'm glad to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Kind of people we want to be talking to.
Yeah.
Get us all integrated.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm the last person you want to talk to, but it's too late.
Yeah.
Well, this is already the most I've ever heard you talk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, man. We need a drink sometime.
Let's do it. Well, except that one time when we were on the radio with Apostle Jones.
Oh, yeah. Was I talking a lot? Oh, we were drinking. I still wasn't
drinking.
talking. That guy came through with like a bottle of whiskey and beers, and he was like, "Here you guys go." And I'm like, I did not expect this to be that type of night. I thought we were doing a radio show, but
I still got to drive home. I had to chill for a little before I drove home that night.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you're excited about the way the music scene is right now.
Oh, yeah.
What are you most excited about?
I think we're just in a really interesting and cool place. I think genres have mixed so much at this point that we're getting not necessarily new stuff, but new mixtures of stuff. You see a lot of people in the rap and hip hop culture are now discovering pop punk music from like the early 2000s. You see Will Smith just made a song with Avril Lavigne and Travis Barker, and like, you know, whether you like it or not, I think stuff like that is just so cool that we're just like, everything is integrating. We're getting all these cool new sounds.
That's news to me. I gotta check that
Oh
song
yeah,
out.
I mean, you gotta check it out. It's not my favorite song in the world, but it's just cool. You know, it's like, you know, people. I didn't really grow up listening to Avril Lavigne, but we kind of all did. You know, you couldn't escape that song, Skater Boy and whatnot. I mean, definitely grew up listening to Travis Barker and Blink-182. So like, yeah, just to hear like these new artists, like, love that. I mean, Travis Barker did something with Young Thug, the Tiny Desk concert that Young Thug did. Travis Barker played on it, and it's like, I don't know, I just love it. It's so cool. And I mean, if you we're in that period where it's like I don't feel like people can say they don't like a specific genre. Like when people say I don't like rap music, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you don't like trap music? You don't like old school rap? Like, there's something for everybody. Whether it's like you're someone who likes Kendrick Lamar, you like someone like Lil Baby, or you like someone who's more old school. Jay-Z's still putting stuff out. It's like, there's so much stuff out there for everyone, and it's just, I don't know. That's when it gets me excited.
Awesome. I did it. I said it.
Awesome.
Awesome. It's natural.
Write it down.
All right, drink.
No, we're in trouble.
Oh, I'm out. Oh, wait.
We'll take this moment to thank our sponsor, Basement Trader, as usual, Chuck Kaminsky in Painesville, Ohio. And
Thank you.
BASSMENTTRADER. He buys and sells a lot of used gear. He's got some awesome stuff. I did it again, man.
Drink. Awesome. All right.
Set up work for guitars and basses. He'll get it turned out most excellently and in a hurry. So thank you so much, Chuck. We have basically 3 Chucks here today with Chuck here. And
from Chuck to Chuck, from Chuck and Chuck to Chuck, thank you.
Yeah. Also from Evan.
And Evan, sorry.
and Evan.
I just want to say the 3 Chucks.
Yeah, Chuck, Goose.
3 Chucks and Little John.
But we can do that over there.
Cool. Today we're drinking some more Ohio beer. Columbus Brewing Company, Bodie. Bodie.
Double Indian Pale Ale.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be careful with these.
Yeah, especially that one. That one doesn't have the bite.
Yeah, you want to ease in. I think you're doing it the wrong way. I think you should have started with this. Eased out.
I've tried it a bunch of ways. This is what works for me.
Okay. I'll say none of the ways work for me.
I have these. The Bud Lights were left over from Dennis. He brought those over here for a rehearsal, and I have not touched them.
Bad juju.
Actually, it was Denny and the Jets, which was the name of a band for one gig.
Oh yeah,
I like that.
Tell me about
Yeah,
that.
so they call it Dennis.
Did you
Denny.
play Benny and the Jets?
No, we did not.
That's a shame.
We did not. And the day after the gig, there was a Family Guy, and they made a joke about outside of the hospital room that Stewie was in, there was a Denny's in an airport, and they were saying Denny's and the Jets nonstop. So worlds were colliding.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. So tell us about Uncle Gnarly, man. The solo stuff you do. It's a lot of nice beats, electronic music, and I hear your sax in there a lot too.
Thank you. Well, perfect time to plug my own stuff here. I got a new EP coming out on December 10th.
Oh, that's
The
nice.
record label Future Everything. I'm super excited about this one.
Future Everything.
Future Everything's a label out of Memphis, Tennessee. These guys are great. It's something. Everything they put out is amazing. So check them out.
Are they an electronic label or?
Yeah, it's mostly electronic adjacent. So like they have stuff on there. They do have some rappers that put stuff out on there. They've had singers. I don't know if they have any bands, but it's mostly like electronic producers and stuff. So it's Uncle Gnarly's just something. it's really where I get to explore stuff that I want to make that doesn't fit into other projects or anything like that. So it's like, started off really being beats. I started getting into house music and just like synthesizers. I put stuff out that's kind of like R&B soul-ish, but still like electronic based. And so it's one of those things where I'm still kind of trying to find my own sound, but I feel like I'm getting closer. And I also feel like everything I put out is a little bit different, but it's just one of those things where it's like nice to just sit down and explore yourself. Because sometimes when you play with people and you play with bands, not sometimes, but you know, you have something that you all share together, and you kind of all need to agree, like, this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So like when you're doing solo stuff, it's nice to be able to kind of be like, all right, I'm gonna do something completely different from that and do what I want to do, and just kind of explore that area. And you know, just an ever evolving thing.
That always helps you bring your best to the table when it's time to share.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, it makes it so you're not trying to push that style onto another band, you know, because you get it out somewhere else. You get that through a different avenue.
Yeah. Working on your own music. Sometimes when you're playing with a band and like things don't go exactly the sound that in your mind you feel like it can start to feel like a compromise.
Yeah.
Of what you're doing with the band, but then you know you get to get it out, like you're saying. That's
Which
a
it
nice
is, I
feeling,
mean-
and it takes a lot of pressure off.
Yeah, I mean, bands have to be compromises. Like, you know, you can't, unless there's one person who's running the whole thing, which is fine too, but it's like, you know, when you're, you know, something like Wanyama, like, we're all best friends. Everything is, at some point, like, we all have to compromise, which is, you know, that's how all relationships work. And, but yeah, you know, it's nice to, you go do something on your own, and you can just, you're like, oh man, I've always wanted to make just a calypso track. You can go do that if you want, you know.
Yeah, I find like doing my own stuff, I feel like I listen back to what I get done with at the end of the day, and I'm like, this is like, every song is something completely different. How the hell did I get here? And yeah, trying to run that past a band and get everybody on board when you're in so many directions, like, it's good because you get other input, but it just kind of can sometimes stifle your creativity.
Yeah.
But when you make music with best friends, like, just by listening to music, I can tell that you guys are really tight because of all the different influences you can hear, and just every single song is like different styles all smashed together.
Yeah.
It's real cool.
Just craziness.
How would you describe Wanyama to the new listener?
Definitely like Limp Bizkit mixed with Corn.
I hear it.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought you were serious for a second. I'm like, wait a second.
No, I got a story. I tell
What
people,
tracks are these?
no, I tell people this. I tell this
shit.
story all the time. Like, I always ask bands, you know, I'm like, what do you want for house music? And they're like, they'll tell me a joke, and I'm like, look, don't joke around. One time we were in Columbus. We all ate edibles. I was super stoned. And the sound guy comes up to me and says, hey, what do you guys want for house music? And I'm like, dude, Limp Bizkit radio. Just like thinking I was being hilarious. And then like 4 or 5 hours in, we're all sitting, you know, the band's all sitting around, and like Tim looks at me, he's like, what the fuck's going on with the music? Like, does this guy really think like people want to listen to Limp Bizkit? I look at him like, dude, it was me, and I'm too high to tell him that I was kidding. Like, you know, like on that edible high where you're just like, like, don't want to talk to anyone. I was like, I can't tell him. He's like, I'll go tell him.
This
I'm
is
like,
the third time we've heard Nookie.
yeah, man. It was I mean, in retrospect, it's hilarious. How do you describe Wanyama? I don't know. Go listen to it. It's everywhere. It's on YouTube if you don't have anything to stream. You know, trying to describe it, it's like, it's just a lot of craziness. You know, it's one of those things like, we took a bunch of time off, A, because of the pandemic, and B, 2 of the members have had kids, and we've started playing some stuff again. When I'm coming back to it, I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, it's like, what were we thinking when we were writing this? Like, it makes no sense. It's interesting. It keeps things interesting, but it's like, it's one of those things, like, when you start to evolve as a musician, sometimes you look back at older stuff and you're like, this makes absolutely no sense. But I guess that's sometimes what makes it good, you know? It's one of those things. It's like, you know, that's just what made it interesting. It's just, sometimes wasn't a specific amount of bars that happened before it went into a chorus, or there was no rhyme or reason why a riff happened in a specific place. But it's all cool.
So as you've evolved, coming back to those songs, do the songs now continue to evolve with you in the live setting?
That's an interesting question. They're kind of, yeah, because they're starting to make a little more sense now. Now we're kind of like, let's just change this differently. But it's hard because, I mean, we've toured the country, and it's like I've played some of these songs so many times that, like, I know how that happened. But, like, we're taking a break from it and coming back is kind of like, and kind of having to remember exactly how it all worked. It's like, just realize how weird it is,
Gotcha.
But then it all comes back to me, and I'm like, all right, this is how many times this is supposed to happen. But there's been a few things where it's like, yeah, we've changed them to make more sense. And, like, I mean, even, like, changing up drum beats and changing up guitar riffs and stuff and just being like, let's make this a little more palatable to, like, be able to solo over or, whatever. I mean, mostly we're just playing now for fun, So it's like, changing anything how we want to do it and just, like, I don't know, just doing shit for fun. So, yeah.
Cool. Coming back together, a lot of new material surfacing.
No.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet. Nice.
No, it's hard. Like I said, two of the members had kids, so it's hard to get together and do things. I work at night, so it's like hard to match schedules up. So we haven't been writing together as much as we'd like to, but we got some ideas and we got some things that we'd like to. I don't know. There's always plans to, like, try and record something and just, like, put something out there. Just, again, for fun. It makes it all different now because it's like before we were, like, really, really trying to do it, and now coming back, it's like it's weird when you start doing music. It's one of those things that's kind of, like, hard to get over the hump. Like, everyone says, like, you should just do art for art's sake. That's the best way it gets made. But, like, when you're in your 20s and you're like, oh, this is what I want to do. Like, sometimes you write things and do things thinking that's going to get you farther into the business. And then when you finally hit this place where you're like, no, we're going to really just do this for fun now. It's like, it starts to click, that idea of, like, doing art for art's sake. And, like, some of the stuff we jam on now is just becoming super fun. It's like a matter of just organizing it and, like, trying to make songs. But it's like every time we jam, like, the jams are more fun than they've ever been. Like, we've done a few Cats Me Out shows recently, and, like, I love doing Wanyama shows, but Cats Me Out is, like, always my favorite thing because it's all improv and it's just me jamming with my friends, and, like, that is, like, the most fun thing ever, just, like, getting on stage and being like, all right, we're in E minor, let's do this, and just, like, letting it all fly. If things sound horrible, then they sound horrible. If they sound great, then they sound great, and hopefully someone recorded it. But, it's just, again, getting back to that basics of doing it art for art's sake and just doing it for fun.
I can vouch for that. That's
yeah, you've been up there.
Some of the most fun times I ever had playing was when it was like, hey, is Evan Stone out there? I'm like, oh, yeah, fucking jump up there and, like, get to play. And
were you at the last one? Didn't you come?
No, I was working or something.
That one's a little bit of a blur to me.
Yeah, if I ever missed a Cast Me Out thing, it was for another gig.
Well, hopefully we'll be doing something soon again. I think we have one possibly planned for January. I don't know.
Cool.
That's under wraps.
Well,
I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Let me know personally, and
Yeah.
I'll put it on the calendar.
For sure. Oh, well, how you been playing? You've been playing, right? Weren't you playing with another band besides Apostle Jones? Like, because you were playing with us too.
Well, I was playing with cover bands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Today I actually quit that band.
Oh,
yeah.
You've got breaking news today, huh?
I did. Well, I was playing with that band to help save up for my car. I bought my car, and so I realized, like, what am I doing with my life? Like, am I really gonna spend all my Friday and Saturday nights playing Jesse's Girl? Like, that's not, no. Like,
that's true.
not fulfilling, and it's just my heart wasn't in it, and I was starting to get really jaded towards the end of the sets, and, like, you could see it in my face. My girlfriend even said, like, you don't look happy up there. And I said, I'm not.
Yeah, man, especially when it comes to music, it's like, or art, any type of art, it's like as soon as it gets to this point where you're not enjoying it, it's like, just stop. switch, just, pivot, do something else with it because, like...
That's what brought the birth of this was,
Right.
I was feeling the same way. I was in cover bands for, 20 years, something like that, a little over that. And, like, third set, I'm just like, and, I used to go out with full energy and everything. And I felt like I was faking my way through it. And just loving the original music scene. Evan's been catching me up on it. I was out doing covers every night, so like all these bands are brand new to me because I was busy on all the nights that the bands were playing to go be able to see them. Doing my own thing, or not my own thing, doing everybody else's thing as
Everybody
a cover.
else.
Yeah, it's weird. I've never really have gotten to like do that circuit, but like you're right. I never thought about it like that. Like I've always been out every Friday and Saturday. Like and now like doing sound. That's also my job. But it's cool because like I'm seeing different people, and even when I go and play original music, I'm either seeing like friend bands or like I'm seeing new bands and stuff. I never thought about like as a cover band, you probably just show up at a bar, play this stuff to people who kind of half care and like and then leave.
You do get some diehards that are way into it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, and there's nights where it was fantastic, but there's other ones, man, where if you have 5 people but it's your own art, you're like, well, I'm suffering for my art.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're suffering for Rick Springfield's art, it's another thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Some people get it down
it's
though.
nice
Don't
that-
get me wrong, man.
It's the only thing really nice about it was the guaranteed money. You put on your own show, you go play, you get percentage of whoever shows up or percentage of the alcohol, or like rarely do you get a guarantee money, unless you're
You can,
too
but then you're doing
yeah.
the fucking 3 hour set at the brewery,
Right, yeah.
or like the corporate gig, and like those aren't. It's not that they're not fun, but
you're
they can
kind
be a
of
little
playing in the
grueling.
corner,
yeah.
Yeah.
One of my professors said, your musical wallpaper. Wait, no, that wasn't my professor. Someone said that.
Musical wallpaper. Yeah.
Musical wallpaper. Kind of a good. I like that term.
Those can be kind of fun too. When you get to when people aren't really paying attention, and you get to kind of just
Fuck
play.
around.
Mm-hmm.
You get to play, with like the duo or trio or
They're team building experiences.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
And
At
then
the
when
end, you're all looking at each other like, all right, we just got done playing for 3 hours. That was fun, and like one person noticed, but it's kind of it's fun.
No, that's even more fun than what I was doing with this band. It was like everybody was watching. It was like they were at a concert.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you're up on like a raised stage and they're all like up front and they're dancing and stuff. And you feel like, feels awesome at first, I guess. But after a while, especially when it's not music you enjoy, that was the killer. Like every time that I had to play Country Girl Shake It For Me, I'd like chug a beer and just put my head down and like chug through it. And
Yeah, it'd be one thing
hope
if
I
you're like
come
a
out on
Red
the
Hot
other
Chili
side.
Peppers tribute band or something. Like if you were out there playing Red Hot Chili Peppers every night, there's a huge catalog.
Oh yeah, that was
That'd
fun.
be fun.
We did
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was you guys, right?
Yeah, that was us. Yeah, so and
Nice.
we got to like our opening of the show was like, hey, let's start in E, go until we felt like going into the first song. So we got time to explore.
Because that's what Chili Peppers did too.
Yeah. Yeah, playing
Lot of
a
it.
tribute to a band that explores on stage was nice because we had some freedom to do our own thing.
Yeah,
Dude,
that was
that's the thing why Grateful Dead tribute bands work so well. And I don't want to say that again. Look, as someone who's done sound and played festivals, I'm done with Grateful Dead tribute groups. I could never see one again in my life. Everyone. But, like, I get it. I get why it's so much fun to do because, like, it's almost more like jazz. So in jazz music, a lot of times you're playing standards, right? And but all you're really doing is playing the hook, and then you're playing over a certain set of keys, and most of the time people change keys, and that's kind of like what Grateful Dead tribute groups do. It's like they're just playing over really nice chord progressions, and the Grateful Dead did so much in like jamming and stuff. It's like it's expected that you just go off on a 13-minute tangent. You don't have to sound like Jerry Garcia. You just need to play well and go on it, and like.
We just talked to some young cats that are really into that.
Oh, Grav. Yeah, man. I love those guys, and I'm sure I would love to see them do. Well, I've seen them play a few Grateful Dead stuff, and they play the earlier. I've seen them do some like the earlier Dead stuff, the more rock and roll stuff, which is more the thing that I like. I'm more of a fan of like that Working Man's Dead, the very first one. Wake in the Flood, or I don't whatever. The one with like Dire Wolf on it and stuff. Like
I'm
I
not
love
very
all that.
knowledgeable about the Grateful Dead.
Oh, all right. I like
this sound.
Their very early stuff is like a lot more. I would say Americana, like country, rock and roll kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, right.
Blues. So like I really like that type of stuff. There's bands that kind of specialize in doing that. I know Sunshine Daydream does kind of more of that kind of stuff. Grateful Shred, if you ever heard them, they're pretty huge.
Yeah.
They're fantastic, but they do that kind of stuff. But regardless, it's like I've been in kind of like improv groups or just jam nights where they do a Grateful Dead song, and it's like playing saxophone. That stuff is really fun, man. Like I get it. I get why like people love playing that stuff. I just don't need to ever hear it again, to be honest. Like I've heard it too many times. Like it's great. I've sat through so many Grateful Dead tribute acts. Oh man.
First time I ever saw you guys was at the Beachland, opening for Into the Blue.
I love the guys in Into the Blue. Yeah, I mean,
another
those guys are
Grateful Dead
great.
tribute is who Into the Blue is.
Yeah, but I've also seen that band probably 30 times. Like,
This was like 2015 or something. 14.
yeah, a while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely more fun to like do stuff like that. Like I've been thinking a lot lately. How about I'm never gonna organize it, but if anyone out there ever wants to do a Funkadelic tribute group, that is one that would be amazing to do because it's like, those guys. It's like same thing. Like they have so many first recognizable songs. Funkadelic, Parliament Funk, George Clinton, all encapsulate everything that was from the Eddie Grant stuff, the Bootsy Collins stuff. But it's like all that stuff is so good to jam on. They were known for jamming on that stuff. They always switched it up. It's very like just easy. It's not necessarily easy, but like one of those bands you listen to and you're like, that doesn't make any sense the way they're playing it, and you realize that like really they were just going into the studio and kind of like putting the bare bones out for stuff and then just overdubbing over that, and like obviously drugs played a huge part in all that, but like yeah man, if anyone I'd totally be into like getting into the great
I'm down to drum
Funkadelic.
that if anybody wants to do that.
Oh man, you could have 3 drummers or something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, you ever seen those guys? I got to see those back.
At was it House of Blues maybe, but it was a more recent show.
Oh yeah,
recent to me.
About 2012 or 2011, something like that. I don't even remember.
Was it Ledges?
I was in it was in college. It was at Water Street Tavern in Kent. It was you know where I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They had George Clinton. It was like George Clinton and like it had to be like 6 or 7 other people on their little stage, and that place was packed the whole time.
At Water Street Tavern?
Water Street Tavern, yeah.
That's not a very big place.
No, Mike Beater was going through a phase of shelling out some money for some big acts, even big comedians to come through.
And I'm probably sure that was a period where George Clinton was willing to take whatever money he had.
Yeah.
I think that's still like, because that's around the same time. That's right before he quit smoking crack. I think. Like,
I haven't been there in a while, but I'll bet they still have the poster like signed by all of them up on the wall from there.
I mean, if it's still there, I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard Ken has kind of like been bought up essentially, mostly by like developers and stuff. But
well, he's one of the guys buying everything.
Oh really?
And,
well, then it's gotta still be up there.
He bought Venice and niced it all up, and it was pretty rock and roll before, but it's good again.
Oh,
and
man.
I guess I haven't been there. I lived there for 7 years though,
Yeah,
so I saw a lot of
I feel like it's kind of like. What was the first band that I ever met you with? Red Moon Rising? Was that the band?
New Moon Rising.
New Moon Rising. Red Moon Rising is a different band. New Moon Rising with because were you guys all down there with that band? Was that like a Kent band?
No. We were a Cleveland band. I was living in Kent like the first couple years I was in it though.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I get all that stuff mixed up because like there was just a while where it was like I was hanging out in Kent like so much. We had so many shows.
It was
like,
a good
bunch
music
of
city, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, up until like recently, it sucks kind of what. The Kent stage is still there, but it kind of sucks the way like everything's been out. Like, was it Stone Tavern? Was that the one?
The Stone Tavern.
That was the fucking.
That was like.
the record store.
Yeah,
Dude, we used to play there, and they'd be like, "We can't pay you that much," they're like, "But we'll give you as much beer as you want." And we're like, "Sounds fucking good."
That was the Stones.
Dude, and that place was always packed out, and it was like, dude, that place was so cool.
Yeah.
Eurojack
It
was
was
not a bad place
always
either.
original bands, always like like local bands, and everyone in Kent, if you like could play guitar at all, they'd like let you come play.
Yeah, man, they were great. It was, I mean, Kent was just cool because it was like one of those areas, because Cleveland doesn't have a lot of places where you can kind of just walk around from place to place, and Kent was kind of like that area where there'd be music in 6-7 different places, and it's all in a fucking 2-block radius.
They have like
it's
5
so
music
cool.
festivals during the summer. Did you know that?
And
they're
like
The Reggae Meltdown was
yeah.
an awesome one, and this was all post Robin Hood. I only got to go to the Robin Hood like twice, but like the Robin Hood was one of the best venues around, man.
Yeah, Robin Hood was where I played my first show ever in Kent. I moved there in 2009 to go to school, and Matt Rhodes was booking there when Tropic.
Oh, he booked
Tropic
there.
Was still
That's
in
the first band I ever saw there. Yeah, I saw Tropic there. Met Justin Roberts doing the live painting.
That's where I met all those guys too.
Yeah, that place was so cool, man. Did it have like an upstairs part that like you could see? Was it behind the stage or
and
in
you
front?
could see down onto?
Yeah,
it was right above the stage because you could see down on the crowd.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
like,
that's what it was.
Veer into the main stage, and there's a smaller stage upstairs.
Oh man, that place, it was so cool. Yeah, so it's like you had the Robin Hood right there, the Kent stage, Stone Tavern,
And it got
Water
torn down,
Street,
like,
Eurogyro. Yeah, what even happened there? I don't remember.
Zephyr. You ever,
What?
The Zephyr.
No.
You ever go there?
No.
That was another one, like right around the corner down the street from Eurogyro.
And what was the basement place that was kind of like
JB's.
Yeah, I saw a couple of cool stuff at JB's down there too. Yeah.
They used to have big acts come through there.
Yeah, I know Sean did a Cumulus event there, and we played a Carlos Jones show there. And it was like, that was a cool ass spot too. Nothing like basement bars. Or basement venues. It's always cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the only place I got to play in Kent was the Outskirts, playing at the Outpost.
The Outpost.
I don't know how to feel about the Outpost. The Outpost is kind of like, I mean, they're definitely higher on my list than Peabody's. I hate Peabody's. I'm glad Peabody's is gone, but like, the Outpost was one of those places where it's like, it's just out there, man. Yeah, but like, it's a cool spot. They got the 2 stages, huge back smoking area.
Yeah. And they draw, and they'll have like Saliva come play there. Bands like that.
Crazy. Yeah, then that's what I think that's the only reason why I compare them to Peabody's is because they kind of had like all the more metal acts and stuff. But I mean, I think we opened for Tropidelic out there a few times. We did a couple of our own headline shows. I think Future Cities. I think that was the last time I was out there.
Future Cities. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was that Keith and Tyler that was in Red Sun Rising? Doing that?
And
it was
Jim
Jim
Gribaldi
playing bass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then who else?
Forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a good
Marlon?
project.
Who was singing? Is his name Marlon?
I can't remember.
No.
I'm so bad with names already, let alone trying to remember names from bands that.
That reminds me, we got to get Keith in here to talk.
Oh yeah, dude. Get Keith in here.
He was the last drummer of New Moon Rising.
Keith was in it. That's right. Yeah, he did. Oh yeah, we just said that. Yeah. Yeah, he did the keys and stuff. They were trying to get him to drum for that, I think, and he was like, I don't want to drum. Every time I bring that up to him, he's like, I don't like drumming. I was like, I don't know if he doesn't like drumming or like, I just brought it up to him the other day. I saw him. I was like, man, you want to drum in this band over here? He was like, no, I'm not a drummer. I'm like, all right. Just an electronic musician and electrician.
A lot less to haul.
That's probably why.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
I mean, he's still got a big setup though. When he does bypass circuit, it's all not
Fucking,
really.
it's wild. It's too big. I don't like, dude. He pulls that shit out. I'm like, dude, your shit makes me fucking anxious. Like, I'm trying to condense my stuff as much as possible. Because electronic stuff, when you're doing that by yourself, a lot of times it requires you bringing out a lot of cables and shit like that. And it's like, he brings out, I mean, synths. Like
Pianos,
5 or
guitars.
6 synths, guitar, the laptop. I mean, he's got a big setup, man. And it's great.
Yeah, it
Sounds
works
great.
out.
Just gives me anxiety every time I look at it. I'm like, dude, I can't believe you're lugging this around. Like, my goal is to have, I like to be able to carry everything one trip.
One trip.
One trip. That's always the goal. I'm like, if I'm taking 2 trips, then like, it's a special night. You got me in a good mood.
I've got my drum set up down to 2 trips, which for a drummer is pretty damn good.
Yeah, dude, I always feel so bad for drummers because like, they're the ones that are always expected to share kits, right? You know what I mean? But like, and like as a sound guy, they're always like, "Do you want us to share kits?" I just look at them like, "Look, it'll make my life easier, but I'm not gonna tell you that you have to use someone else's thing because it's like I think about like, dude, if I had to use someone else's saxophone, it's like, yeah, everything's relatively in the same place, but it's gonna be completely different, and you're not gonna play your best. So it's like I always feel for drummers when they're like. They always give in and they're like, yeah, I'll use someone else's kit, but it's like it's gotta be annoying. Yeah, it's like you gotta be careful because you don't want to break other people's stuff, and then everything's at a different distance, and it's like, what, you're really only bringing cymbals on and like snare, and it's like.
My last one where I used somebody else's kit, like his hi-hat, I don't know, he put it a mile away, and I got T-Rex arms anyways, you know? So, like, trying to come across to some fancy hi-hat stuff and it was a pain in the ass, man. I had to stretch afterward, like, in between songs.
Yeah, man.
I was getting cramps.
Yeah, you're just essentially asked to, like, not be able to play your best. And it's like, because if someone was like, hey, man, play this guitar, and it was like, if you have, like, a Strat and someone gives you a Gretchen, you're going to be like, or a Gretchen, a Gretsch?
Gretsch, yeah.
Dude, I don't know guitars. But if someone gave you that, it's like, yeah, man, like it may be a beautiful sounding guitar, but like you haven't been putting hours in on that, you know what I mean? Like you don't, the frets are going to be a little bit farther apart or a little bit closer together. Or
Yeah,
like,
it might be higher or lower.
Yeah, and strings are going to be completely different, have a completely different feel to them. Pickups are going to be different volumes and whatnot, and it's like,
yeah.
But hey, thank God.
If the space on the
drummers.
stage allows it, I like seeing like a few drum sets on stage. If the stage is big enough, have it up there.
Yeah.
Like play, like even if you're playing not in the center, like normally play over to the side and then you just take it off. Next one's ready. I like how when shows peel back like that.
Oh yeah, I
See,
mean
I
it
don't
makes
know
my
the
job
ball,
so
but-
much harder. But it's not. I get it. I play. I don't want to. I want people to play their best.
Do you run into a lot of musicians that are assholes to the sound guy?
No.
Okay.
But I work at a venue. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like I'm not really running into like prima donna people, and I mean it happens every once in a while, but like for the most part, people are like.
Yeah, people want to cooperate.
Yeah, and I'm working at that mid level. So it's like people aren't quite that famous yet. So you know what I mean? Like I'm not working with anyone that's that famous. We've had a few people here and there that I've heard like and I'm talking about super famous people that have no so Beachland at its max with both rooms open is a 650 club. So we've had people in there that have no deal being in there, and for some reason they're there. I don't know. Maybe they've heard it's a great place to play.
650 people.
Yeah, 650 capacity. And, sometimes it's like, I won't name names, but there's been a few people that I've heard, they're like, fuck that person. I don't want to work with them ever again, But I personally, rarely, I can't even think of an instance, fucking wish someone would have knock on wood. Damn, see my wife's calling me right now. I told her, I said, don't call me, I'm doing a podcast. She don't read my text.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, for the most part, man, people are super cool, and like even like bartending there, like I've always experienced like people are there to have a good time, and musicians are there to have people have a good time, So people are nice. It's cool. But I mean, I've definitely worked like as like a stagehand in like bigger venues where they're never saying anything to me because I'm never dealing with the artist, but you can kind of hear it in the background like, ugh, God, glad I'm not the general manager tonight.
Because I've run into, I asked that because I'd run into some sound guys, and it was mostly when I was doing like outdoor festival type shows that were.
Dude, all right, let me stop you there and tell you that not all of them, but festival sound techs are some of the just grumpiest motherfuckers ever. And it's the way they're living. Let's face it. Like, they're in the hot sun all day, like, just dealing with 30 bands. But sorry, keep going.
That nailed it on the head. I feel like I'm like walking around a bomb that's ready to go off.
Yeah,
I'm like, if it helps out, I have an internal microphone with an XLR on the side, and then hands up and back away. You know?
Yeah, man.
No pressure.
Dude, they're always the ones that are like, I'm not getting the bass. Why is that? And you're like, I don't fucking know. You tell me. Like, and they're like, well, it's your DI. And they're like, I know it's not. Literally use the same amp, you know. And it's like, just yesterday, like because we had one recently where like it was the last festival we played, like this bass that Wanyama played, and our bass player Coda like wasn't getting power. Where like we had just practiced before leaving for this festival, like literally the same day. We're like, unless something happened to this amp between 2 hours ago and right now, like it's your problem. Like there's something happening on your end. He's like, I don't think so. Of course, it's the fucking power. Like it was their power. They had lost power or something. We're like, dude. You know, it's like spent 10 minutes like going back and forth with the sound tech about it, and it's just like, dude, come on, man. And you could just tell he was like already grumpy. We're like, dude, we're on day 2 or like day 1 of this festival. You got 2 more days. You better get your shit together, man. I feel it though. I mean, you know, it's one of those things where it's like the more you do it, I'm sure the more you get a little jaded and like, but I'm lucky. I've played, I've toured, I understand. Like, I try to always look at that whenever I go to work. I try to look at that from the musician's perspective and be like, look, like, I'm here to help you guys sound the best that you can sound. Like, I'll do with my end, but, like, yeah, no. But you're definitely right. Festival sound guys or girls. I've never ran into a mean festival lady or sound lady. But sound guys, yeah, they can be
very
the
grumpy.
Worst. Yeah.
Glad it wasn't just me.
No, it's definitely. I don't know if they were up too late the night before, but like, they're. I don't know. Yeah, probably not. I mean, depending on what company they work for, but I mean, a lot of those guys get fucking paid, man. You know, they get. I mean, it's just a matter of like sleeping in a tent or your car or whatever for 3 days. You gotta wake up and like, you know, you're partying at the end of the night. And you wake up the next day and you gotta deal with 30 bands, and it's like. If you're doing that every weekend all summer, I'm sure it
Or if you're trying to, you know, not party so you can do good the next day, it's so loud that you can't sleep.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that happened to me recently. I was a stagehand for one of the hookah shows, and I had to be up the next day. And this was down at Legend Valley, and I had to be back at Beachland at 11 a.m. Yeah. And so, like...
It's like
I'm looking at leaving at like
2.5 hour drive.
Yeah, I'm looking at leaving at like I think it was earlier than that. I think it'd be a beach like 10 or something. But it is something crazy where like I really put myself in a corner here. But hookah's just playing, and they're playing. I'm like trying to sleep like in between when they start playing, and then I got to get up and like help them load everything up, and then go back to sleep for like an hour or something. And I'm trying to sleep, and it's just the loudest fucking bass, and of course like. The employee or like the staff parking at Legend Valley is like right behind the stage too. So I'm just like, this is not gonna go well. It didn't. It was horrible. What'd
you do the next day at Beachland? Was that the?
It was School of Rock, which is like, look, I love School of Rock, but you know, listening to kids play a bunch of cover songs for like 5 hours straight while on about an hour of sleep is rough. It can be rough.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But God bless them. I mean, I love it. Every other time, it's just that time was a little rough.
Yeah. We had was it like the Pittsburgh School of Rock opened for us at Jurgles when we were in the Chili Peppers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were all excited. It's cool to see the kids get excited
it's great,
into
man.
it.
So it's just after a couple hours, when you're not like it's like imagine going to another, like. Person's kids play.
Yeah. And
someone you don't even know. You're just like, yeah, this is cute, but like, an hour in, you're kind of like, all right, I'm ready to go. Yeah. But I mean, some of them, don't get me wrong. I mean, in Cleveland, some of the kids that are in this School of Rock are amazing. And they're
we've
going
got
to
3
blow
schools
people.
of rock, don't we?
We have Highland Heights, Strongsville,
Something on
Rocky
the west
River.
side too. Yeah.
Or Westlake. It's Rocky River, Westlake, maybe both. Yeah, is that 3? I thought maybe there's 4.
There
maybe
might
there's
be
3.
4.
I
know.
think there's 3 because I think the only East Side one's Highland Heights.
Right.
But shout out to them. I know. I mean, Mikey from Apostle Jones works there, and like,
Cool. We're gonna have him in here in a couple episodes.
oh yeah, man, he is.
He works hard.
Just to put the two the nicest people in the music scene out there, Mikey, Silas, and Dave Deakey are the 2 like my 2 favorite people. Like they're just the 2 nicest guys and hardest working musicians. And
Dave's also known as Ziggy. We've referenced him.
Oh yeah, check out his podcast.
And both
Zig at the Gig.
Zig at the Gig. Yeah.
Dude, he's got he just had Victor Wooten on. Like he's had oh god.
We might have to
He's
go
had
to him
so
to
many
do
people
the
on.
episode.
That's fine.
He just broke his leg falling off.
Oh no, it's all right. No, it's splintered. It's just not splintered.
He's got a
splint.
splint on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Like, that
No,
sounds
it's just
worse.
sprung. It's sprung. Sprung.
He sent
Sprung
me a
it.
picture of it like a big cast. I guess I just assumed it was broken.
No, I was there when that happened. He jumped off the Beachland stage, and I looked pretty bad at first. I'm not gonna lie. He had it was literally like a fist size like bulge on the side of his ankle, and like.
Cool. Is there any footage of that jump?
There might be, but I don't think so because it was literally as we were about to start. Like the opener had just gotten there. There was like a traffic jam or something, and he had just gotten there. And so he had like run up on stage, set a camera up, and like jumped off the stage and was like just landed. And like Dave is not like he's one of those people. He won't admit something like hurt unless it really fucking hurt.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I think I'm okay. And we're like all looking at him like, are you sure? And he's got, I mean, literally within like seconds, like this bump on the side of his ankle. We're like, dude, I mean, if you're not dying, you don't have to go to the hospital, but like you should definitely sit down. I didn't. So yeah, and then I texted him the other day or the next day, and he ended up, it was just a sprain, so he should be all right. But yeah, he's walking around with that boot on.
Yeah. My wife's done that twice. Had a sprained ankle, same one. Boot, crutches, no fun.
I've never done it, knock on wood, but like it looks painful.
You got a wife now, huh? You just under the scenes got married.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it's like we got engaged in 20. Dude, I don't even. Was it 2019? Yeah, or no, it was 20. It was 2020, but it just had been like a full year, and we're just like, she's from Buffalo. She's got family all over, and she really just wanted to do it and just like get this part of it out of the way. And it was really nice because we got to just do like, it was just me and her, and like really focus on us, and like I wasn't nervous. And I realized that was like a good thing because I wasn't like trying to talk in front of like a million people or like in front of all her family and stuff. We're still gonna do stuff, but like it was nice. It was nice to just like it was one of those things we kept joking about. She was like, "Should we just get married this week?" And I'd be like, "Whatever you want to do." I'm like, "I literally don't care." And like, yeah, she just was like, "This week." And I'm like, "Are you sure?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Yeah, we did it over at Holden Arboretum,and
Awesome.
It's nice, yeah.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it all
nice.
the colors and everything going on too this time of year?
It was.
It's still
Yeah,
summer.
yeah,
Still summer
no.
when you did it?
It was not. I mean, it was it's October, but everything was starting to change. We did it under a willow tree, so like it's nice to have like the specific
Among the
spot.
willows.
I think I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like it's nice. We have the spot that we can like go to now. But yeah, the colors were starting to change. We had gone back the following week. The colors changed a little later this year, but we went back the following week. Went to the Emergence Tower and like got to see everything from above. So yeah, it was nice. I am gonna eventually. My main idea is to have a big party at Beachland. It's just like an open invite thing. Anyone who tells me they're coming will just get put on a list. And the only thing that ever bothers me about weddings is like you gotta like pick and choose who comes, and like everyone who comes, you gotta like pay all this money for them and stuff. And it's like I'd rather just have a big party. Anyone wants to come, come.
Dude, you're
Beachland
living the
has
dream right there.
food.
We've I feel like every guy's had that like thought, like this is what I want a wedding to be like, instead of like paying
Dude,
for a big party. Like,
Honestly, I want more than what she does. I'm like, I want to have a party for our friends and stuff. She's like, we don't have to do that. I'm like, I want to do this. She's like, all right.
perception only. Yeah.
Yeah, reception only, man. Let's all fucking get drunk. Anyone want? And then, but that's nice because Beachland has food. They have drinks. Like,
Yeah, man.
y'all buy your own food and drinks. I'll have stuff on the side for like friends and family.
That's
and
a
stuff,
great
but,
way to go.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
a
man.
great
Then
way
you
to
don't,
go.
but then you don't have to like say no to anyone because there's so many people, and it's like I don't want to be making these choices. And like I said, she has a much bigger family than me, so it's like, when you have a wedding, it's like you have to start making these like pick out who can and cannot come celebrate with you, and it's like this weird thing. It's like I want everyone who wants to come, like, it's like I have so many friends from like the music scene in Cleveland. So I want everyone to be there, so I think that'll be nice if I can. I should probably try and book it soon because the Beachland's starting to book up already into next summer. But it's like, yeah, I'd like to do that. Have a band play, have one of my friends' bands play, and then have a jam thing. I want to play saxophone on my wedding celebration. Oh yeah, I know. But I can't have it. That has to be the first act. I gotta let all these guys get fucking wasted. I don't know who I want to hire for like another band. But it's like, yeah, I can't be having, Tim, Cody, Brandon. We're all getting drunk, so it'll be fun.
Cody, you and Cody, we should get in here too. Wanyama and Ziggy, you guys share a bass player.
You do. Cody, vehicular manslaughter, Cross, Papa Cross. We gotta have the Papa in there now.
Yeah.
Just kidding. He's
that
never.
The pictures I've seen, he looks like such a natural father.
He is. He's always been such a just a family guy. Like just like with it, he's always been one of those people like, I cannot play a show this day. It is my cousin's birthday. You know what I mean? Like it is my grandfather's.
Golf outing.
I have to be there. This is a big thing. No, but I mean, yeah, he's always been like just like super into family. So like, I think, yeah, he's perfect dad. Tim too is just like, I mean, those guys. Tim's kind of funny. I mean, I never thought he'd fall into it like he did, but he just like is. It seems he is such a great dad. Yeah. It's cool. It's very cool to like. I don't have any brothers or sisters, so like. It's cool to have people that are that close to me, like have kids, and it's kind of like I'm like an uncle, and it's like it's just nice to have that kind of like family feeling. So and they're just so into it, and it's really nice. It's fantastic. Everyone, there's so many people having kids now. It's great.
It's awesome. I have a kid now too.
Yeah. How's that going?
It's going so good.
Fucking Papa Stone out here.
Yeah, man. Family rose to number one. It used to always be music.
Yeah.
It's great when you find the people that make that happen.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. It's weird
My
how
girlfriend
like
Rihanna is the best.
Dude, it's weird how like people tell you like they're like you're gonna change your mind. You're like in your you're in your teens and 20s, and you're like
Never
no way,
married, no kids,
no kids. And now it's like I'm like man, I just wanna like I don't want to hate my job by any means, but I almost want to just be financially like get to that point. It's like and then it's more of like. I don't want to tour around. I mean, I would love to do one tour around the world once a year and make a lot of money. That'd be sick if something like that happened. But it's like, I don't want to be gone all the time, man. It's like, I want to be around people and, like, friends and family and my wife. And, I'd like to have a kid one day. And, like, you can't do that. I mean, you can. People do it. But, like.
It's tough.
Yeah. Do you really want to be out on the road, like. 250 days of the year, like probably not, man. Some people do it right, don't get me wrong. Some people it's like
well, your priorities have got to be there to do it right,
like you got to be kind of disciplined with it in order to be able to do it and keep everything up to the level that it should be.
Well, and coming back to like being excited about music. I mean, for musicians, one of the cool things about living in the future out here now is that. You can do these things where it's like you can fly out to California for a week or two, and like if people can hear your music via the internet, and, you may not be on Billboard's Top 100 or anything like that, but you can sell out shows. You can sell out shows on the other side of the world and make money from just being gone for like a week or two. I know plenty of bands that come through now. They're like, oh no, we're only out for 2 weeks and we're gonna go back and then take a break and we just go out to our cities that like we know we are going to do really, really well in, and then hopefully expand that. But it's like with the internet and everything now, it's like totally possible to do that as a musician, which is again one of those really exciting things.
Yeah.
What are some exciting shows coming to Beachland? Shows people that are doing that kind of thing.
I mean, I don't know about I don't know exactly what those types of things are, but dude, I mean, Beachland has just come back from the pandemic with a fucking vengeance. Like,
that schedule is so impressive right now.
Dude, I mean, this last week we had Jeff Tate, Guided by Voices, Mom Jeans. It was 3 sold-out shows, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thursday was Maggie Rose and with Them Vibes, which was an amazing show. It's like
Them Vibes.
Dude, Them Vibes. I'll tell you, Maggie Rose and her backup man, who's Them Vibes, has their own. They're very like this, like 60s, 70s pop psychedelic band. Like, they're so fucking cool. But yeah, check out either of those people. It's like we've been having the shows that we've been having there are just so crazy. We had Freddie and the Witch Fingers with Acid Dad a couple weeks ago. That was amazing. But who's coming up? We have All Them Witches coming up. We have Cloud Nothings is this week. I'm doing Jeff Rosenstock, who's formerly of Bomb the Music Industry and Arrogant Sons of Bitches, which is a sold-out show on Wednesday.
You guys have limited capacity? Or
No, we're full capacity.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, it's full. I mean, the weird thing that's happening right now, though, is like these sold-out shows. Like, I mean, we had OCs a few. We're not familiar with OCs, you know.
OHSE, right?
OH.
OCs.
It depends on what version you're talking about. He's done it in John Dwyer, the lead guy, he's spelled it a bunch of different ways for whatever.
Oh, okay.
It's the same thing with like Funkadelic, if you don't know. Back in the day, the reason there's Parliament and there's Funkadelic is that George Clinton wanted to sign on to 2 different record labels, and because Funkadelic was owned by, I think, Columbia at the time, he had made Parliament as, or no, I think vice versa. I think it was Parliament was, I don't remember which one's first, Parliament or Funkadelic, whatever. But one's own was, rights, where all the record rights for so many records were owned by Columbia. And so he made a new band that was essentially the exact same band. And then you have that same thing. Bootsy Collins was that same thing. I mean, all the people that are playing on Bootsy Collins' Rubber Band, whatever it is mostly the same people as Funkadelic Parliament. Eddie Grant, same thing in like every version. But anyways, OCs, yeah, the weird thing that we're coming into right now is that there's a lot of people not showing up to shows. Like, we had
Artists?
No, people just like who bought tickets. I mean, we've had 80, 90 people not show up to a show, like a sold out show, and it's like you have tickets to it and they're just not showing up. So I don't know what that's all about, but that's been kind of like a weird thing. But yeah, man, I mean, we have such
Do you let more people in?
No, I don't. We don't know if they're gonna show up or not. You know, if it's sold out, we're sold out. So, maybe I don't really know what the rules are with that or what they do. Maybe they do. Maybe if it's like, you know, getting late in the night, they're like, all right, if people come up, we'll let them in. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Who else are we?
You tell everyone in listening where Beachland's at in Cleveland.
Where?
That might not know yet.
Oh, the Beachland Ballroom Tavern. If you don't know, was one of the best concert venue in Cleveland. Sorry, Grog Shot, Winchester, Happy Dog, and Agora. And House of Blues, clearly not. But like, I love the House of Blues, but like we all know it's like not the best. It's on Waterloo in Cleveland, and you know,
right off of 90.
Right off of 90.
East.
Yeah.
And you know, usually 5 nights of the week there's music going on there. So I think we have.
You guys still do your brunch?
No, we're coming back to it. We just had a staff meeting, so nothing's announced yet. So I don't think I should say anything depending on when this comes out. But like, it's coming. Cool. It's coming back. It's one of those weird things where it's like, dude, I'll be out and tell people I work at Beachland. They're like, oh yeah, brunch. And I'm like, no, it's a concert venue. You know that, right? And they're like, I've only been there for brunch. I'm like, that's so weird because I've never been there for brunch. Like, I've worked there for 5 or 6 years.
You go there for brunch. Anything you see everywhere is about the concerts. So
I know but it's, you know, people are people. But yeah, people are always asking, like, when's brunch coming back? And I'm like, it's always been, I don't know, because I mean, you know, one of those things is like there's. the staffing shortage has affected us too. While like front of house and like sound wise, where we've been finding it's like finding people to work the kitchen is hard, and especially because it's still like, we're still an independent venue, and like it's it's not like we can't pay people the top dollar, just to always come in like a couple times a week, but. I think they're starting to find people, and they're starting to come up with a new menu. It's a brand new kitchen in there, which is amazing. We have a brand new head chef who's been.
It was good before. So
dude, it's it's better now. If you haven't been there and tried the food yet, it's honestly better than it was before. And like I've always held it in high regard. It's definitely the best. Well, I mean, I don't know how many places you can even get food at concert venues other than like Happy Dog and Winchester, which both have amazing food. Mm-hmm. If you love hot dogs with Fruit Loops on them, but I mean, no, just kidding. I love Happy Dog, I love their tots, and I love Winchester's food. But I've always thought Beachland had great food, and it's definitely better than it's ever been, thanks to the new chef Brian and Joe and Gavin that are working there. It's great, it's fantastic stuff.
What's this about? Some British band writing a song about you guys?
Oh, Idols. I was just listening to the new album. So if you've read anything about Idols is a band, I don't know how you describe them, maybe punk, maybe just like rocks, I don't know, man, check them out. That song is essentially about when bands start off, they play these tiny rooms, and that song is specifically about our smaller room, the Tavern, and they used to play in there. And, bands come in, and we always show people around. We're like, all right, well, here's our bigger room. We'd love to get you in here. Like, we hope that you start selling a ton of tickets, and we get to put you in there. And so that's kind of what the song is about, is they would see the bigger room and be like, that's the thing. That's what we're trying to get to. And now, they're all over the world selling out, like, stadiums and stuff.
Stadiums, oh, wow.
I mean, I don't know about stadiums, but, one of the things
bigger stage.
Yeah, well, one of the things you got to realize about, like, Europe is Europe tends to take live music better than Americans do for whatever reason. You have so many bands that play here that are kind of just like, they'll go to Europe and sell out 1,600 person rooms, come here and be playing like 300 person rooms and not selling them out. And it's not, there's something about that happens in Europe where they just have more of appreciation for live music or something. But anyways, Idols is one of those bands that has played the Beachland many times. I got to see the last show that they played there in the ballroom. Wild show, but they've always apparently just loved us. I've never actually gotten to talk to any of them, but all the staff there has always held them in high regard. So like when they put this song out, we had known for a while that they were doing this. But yeah, when they put that song out, it was just crazy, And then they do it on Jimmy Kimmel. You hear like Jimmy Kimmel say like, making their American television.
They played that song on.
They played it on. You can watch the clip on YouTube where Jimmy Kimmel says making their American television debut with the song Beachland Ballroom, Idols, and it's like it's just like one of the craziest things to hear, and it's like it's so cool, and like
We'll have to link that below.
Yeah, no, I mean the whole album is amazing, and by all accounts they will be back. Shit's always weird.
Where would they play if they were to do Cleveland again these days?
They're gonna be at Beachland. It may be the last time that they ever do Beachland again. We'll see. But I mean, like I said, they're huge. I think, by all accounts, I'm sure they're gonna play Beachland at least one more time. They did write the song, but like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they would be selling out at least the Agora. Like, if they were to. And every other venue they've played in America right now is like they're selling out at least 2,000 person rooms and like stuff like that. So
what's the Agora capacity?
I think the Agora is 1,600, cool. Something like that. I mean, if you're counting both rooms, I think the theater room is 1,200. I don't know. No, it's got to be higher than that because their smaller room's like 350. I don't know. I don't know why I even have these numbers in my head. But
they're still doing shows on the smaller room since they redid it all.
No, man, I was there recently. They used it as a merch room,
Yeah,
which is a
that's all I've
shame.
seen. Mhm.
It's that was like one of the. I love that place. It was such a good mid-level venue, and
That was
I
like
saw
a rite of passage, like
Yeah,
back
man.
in the day. So like you play that smaller stage.
Yeah, man, I saw a lot of bands that were just in that room back in there. Like I saw like Anti-Flag in there. I saw Swayze in there. I've seen a lot of
Sugar
punk
Cult.
bands.
I saw on
Sugar
there.
Cult,
Yeah.
yeah.
I saw Trapped in there.
Oh, really?
And,
Yeah.
I saw 30 Seconds to Mars when they first came out. They played that. Room.
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. I mean, a lot of good bands went through the Agora back in the day. I mean, that was the second Agora. I mean, obviously, like super famous people have been to the Agora back in like the 70s and stuff. But yeah, I've actually probably been to more shows specifically just in the ballroom than I have in the theater. I think the only few people I've seen in the theater were like Rancid or like I saw like Less Than Jake there back in the day. But
They would put on like 6-band shows in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
You know, and they just like switch rooms, so like there wouldn't be much time in between. When I went to that 30 Seconds to Mars thing, it was like they stopped and Chevelle was in the big room. And then you go back and see Trapped, and then it was like Seven Dust.
Give me a time warp here.
Yeah.
Going through
No,
these
you know
band
what?
names.
Yeah, you know what I saw way back in the day was Streetlight Manifesto is in the ballroom, and Whole Wheat Bread, some punk band from Florida, opened for them, and then opening for them was Gym Class Heroes, and like, dude, I saw Gym Class Heroes in like a 1 of 4, like lineup, and it's so crazy. I mean, and they, that probably doesn't even mean anything to people now, but like there's a time where like Gym Class Heroes got fucking huge, and then the lead singer from there went on and like got even bigger after that for a little bit. But it was, I mean, you get to see a lot of crazy shit in places like that.
Yeah.
And now they only do theaters, and they're a corporate place, and they redid it. It's beautiful, but it's not, it's not the place where they, it's just not the same.
Yeah, it almost looks like a playhouse now.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. It's nice.
Beautiful, yeah.
Sounds great. But I think that's one of the things about places like Beachland, Winchester, Grog Shop,
Let's
Happy
not
Dog.
forget Coda.
Coda. Yeah. It's rock and roll venues.
Yeah.
It's like, it's still a little grungy. It's like the people that want to be like pop stars I shouldn't say pop stars, but they want to be like that clean, polished people. They don't always love those type of venues, but then like again, Idols, one of those bands, they love a place like Beachland because it's a rock and roll venue. Like there's still stickers on the wall in the bathroom. You know what I mean? Like it's a beautiful place, and we've gotten to redo a lot of stuff, but all these venues that are like that, it's like there's still like this rock and roll soul to it, and like bands like that, man, and like you can't get away from that. Not every artist is gonna like it, but I mean, I know that I feel more comfortable when I walk into a place or a venue, and I kind of feel like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna get judged here. I'm not gonna get bothered here. Like, dude, I've played shows at Hospitals. I got to do one recently. I love all the staff there is amazing, but there's almost like you're walking around and then you get checked. You walk through one door, someone's like, "Where's your wristband?" And you walk through another door and they're like, "Where's your wristband?" And it's like, dude, I just showed someone my wristband. Like, how many people I gotta show this fucking wristband to? You know what I mean? And it's like,
once the metal detectors start coming into play.
yeah, man, it's just, I mean, and it's great, and I'm happy these places exist because, like, I mean, one of my favorite things about there now being two huge promoters like AUG and Live Nation is that we're getting shows that we never got before. A lot of people used to always skip Cleveland, go to Columbus, Detroit, Pittsburgh, all around us, and Toronto, but like would skip us. And we're getting a lot of those people now, which is great, fantastic. Yeah. But you're right, when you got to go through a fucking metal detector, you're getting wanded. It's just like
you don't feel like you belong.
How am I supposed to get a fucking joint in here? You know what I mean? Like if you can't light up a one hitter and smoke a little weed in a venue. Like, not that Beachland allows that, but like. Yeah. Well, I remember back in the day, House of Blues would fucking, they shine their light on you and come over, pick you up, like, you gotta get out of here. And you're like, dude, it's a fucking Slightly Stupid concert, dude. Like, what are you doing? It's just, there's not as much soul to it. But don't get me wrong, because I will say that when you walk into the green rooms of the Agora, they have kept all the signatures that are on the back, all the
that's
brick
good to
and
hear.
stuff. Yeah, man, you can walk back there and see all these cool signatures from a bunch of famous people.
Do we have the white marker?
I've got something upstairs, so we are going to start adding signatures of all of our guests on the table.
Oh, nice,
there.
nice.
So I have one
You're
upstairs.
filling up
I gotta
fast.
find it.
Cool.
Julie
So
borrowed
we're getting about that time where we got to wrap up. So
Okay.
A few closing questions, man. You're giving some shout outs throughout this show. Any other shout outs to some up and coming Cleveland acts you'd like to give?
Oh, man. Wait, let me plug first so I don't forget anything.
Oh yeah, and any
Absolutely.
shows you got coming out?
All right, new EP coming out December 10th via Future Everything. That's an Uncle Gnarly EP. Make sure you check that out. If you, it's probably coming out like right before, but if you can, pre-save it on Spotify. The day after, 12/11, Apostle Jones at the Tavern. Really looking forward to this show. I think it's gonna be an amazing thing. So if you're not doing anything, or if you are doing something, cancel your plans because this is going to be a banger. Depending on when this airs, I've just started working at Signal Flow Studios. It's a place where like Toby Raps, Trapadelic has recorded at, so a bunch of other musicians. So engineering-wise, whether you hit me up or hit them up specifically, come track there, and then just Beachland Ballroom and Tavern in general.
This
come
should
to
be
a
out
show.
on November 22nd. So just on Monday.
We were saying we were looking at maybe moving it a little bit so that it drops the week of all his events.
Whenever you want.
All right, let's cut.
So even though it's the third one recorded, we might move it.
Don't cut anything. And then
Yeah,
shout outs. Sea Level, Wanyama, Apostle Jones. I don't want to even start naming random people because there's so many fantastic musicians. Go out to the show, man. If you're listening to this, go to the Winchester, go to the Grog Shop, go to Coda, go to Happy Dog. Go to, if there's a good show coming up, go to the Agora, go to House of Blues. Let's, go to the Nautica when it reopens up in the summertime. Just don't just support local music, support local venues, whether they're big or not, because here's the thing, if AEG brings, if they're making money at the Agora, they're going to keep bringing people here, and if they keep bringing people here, it's just going to push the music venue, or push them all the music in Cleveland. It's just going to get more people excited and talking about Cleveland as a music city. We just had that great Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. Now they're trying to push it to every other year rather than every 3 years, and it's like, let's just support local music, man. Just share stuff online. Like, that's just my plug. It's just like, go to a show, just show up.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, man. I mean, you go to a place like Grog Shop, Winchester, Beachland, Coda, all these places, you can show up there any night that there's music and you're going to see something good. And it's one of the things that I've learned about working in a venue is that, I thought I knew all the bands in Cleveland. I've been working in a venue for 5 or 6 years. I'm playing in the music scene in, 2 to 3 or 3 different acts now. And it's like, I still don't know. I still show up to work, and there's a local band that is fucking amazing. And I'm like, I've never heard of you. How do I not know you? I thought Cleveland was a small city, but it's not as small as you think. I know you think you know all the musicians, listeners, and you guys too. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't.
I'm
I
right
don't.
with
We are here to learn.
Yeah,
I'm right
it's
with
just-
you. When I started booking for this to get people in this podcast, it's one person. I'm looking. Now there's so much interest.
There's
and
so
like,
much. There's
I'm
so
like,
many talented
who are these
people.
Oh, they're awesome. Listen to their music. They're awesome. They have a ton of followers too.
Yeah, just go to an open mic night. Just, you don't have to play. Just go and watch the people that are there, man. It's just
Man,
like there's
that's
so
the
many good
rawest
people.
stuff right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just support the local scene just by listening, just by talking, and just sharing stuff on social media. It's just we have so much good music in the city, and the city and all the musicians and artists in it deserve to just get some acknowledgement in general, and just we all owe it to each other, because the more that musicians get to play and share their music with you, and it's just great for the consumers, you know, like it's just everyone gets something in return. Like you check out their music, you're gonna find something new, and it helps them out. It's just this consensual, great relationship that we can do. So that's my plug. Yeah.
Well, thank you for being part of that.
Hey, thank you guys. This has been fun.
Yeah, man, we appreciate everything you do for this scene, man.
Oh, you guys too, man.
Cool. All right, this is Charlie Wilson, Uncle Gnarly.
Hey.
One last time.
December 10th, new album. December 11th, he'll be playing live. Make sure you check him out.
Apostle
Yeah.
Jones, maybe I'll be on stage with you.
Yeah, man. Should be a good one. I'm looking
And,
forward to this.
If you're on YouTube checking us out, the links will be below. Still figuring out all that Spotify link and stuff, but we will try and get it below.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and
It's been confusing.
check out
It is. We're new.
check out that Zig at the Gig podcast. That's
Absolutely.
the only other
Zig at
local
the
ones to
Gig.
know.
And Basement Trader Chuck Kaminsky.
Basement Trader.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Cheers.